Hey, good morning. Pete Corthy here with Keller Williams Realty. I just wanted to reach out and share some information about some big news going on in the housing market, specifically about mortgage rates and affordability. You've probably seen that there's been some news lately about mortgage rates coming down. The Fed is expected to cut rates coming up. I'm a little hesitant to get too excited about that, just because coming into 2024, I was expecting they'd cut a lot. They haven't cut at all, but many economists, experts are expecting them the next time they meet coming up, they will cut the Federal Reserve rate, meaning that that will trickle down to the mortgage rates changing as well. Here's just some clips all in the news expecting that, saying what's going to happen. That's really big news for the housing market and for homeowners. And let's take a little, mainly just because we're changing the mortgage rate and the rates are coming down. Let's talk a little bit about why. And so this is the graph of the 30-year mortgage rate from about the last year. If you look back in October of last year, it peaked at 7.8%, and I had seen some rates closer to 8%. Very high. That's really a big increase, especially because 2-3 years ago, rates were in the threes. So almost doubling, tripling in that time span, really killing people's affordability, really making it difficult to afford the monthly payments to purchase a place. And so what's happened since then? There's a pretty significant drop at the end of 23, early 24. Things have kind of crept up a little bit to where we are now, where rates are the lowest they've been in about 6 months. This is the rate pulled for August 1st, about 6.75%. And I've actually seen it come down since then. This is about a week later. I've seen rates around 6.25, 6.3. So it's continued to drop down. And that's huge news. That's a really big drop. And this isn't even taking into account an expected Fed rate cut, which will likely, force these to come down a little bit further and increase affordability and increase purchasing power. This is big news for you as a potential home buyer and something that you should be aware of as you go forward and make your plans for buying a place whenever that might be. After the next lease is up, sooner than that, whatever you're looking at. And so, let's talk a little bit about the numbers. What does this actually mean? It's nice to know that where rates are, how it, when they're coming down, but how does that impact your actually bottom line? And so I pulled together some examples here of looking at rates at what they were last year, that's 7.75% at a purchase price of about $500,000. Obviously depending on your market, what you're looking for, your budget might be higher than that, might be a little bit lower than that, but this is a decent medium here. And so down payment of 10%, big thing to note here. You don't need 20% down. You can put less than 20%. This is 10%. The average first-time home buyer puts about 8% down. Something to be aware of. You don't have to save for 20%. That's my spiel. And so down payment's $50,000, creates a loan amount about $450. It's a typical 30-year note with that 7.75 interest rate. The mortgage insurance, the PMI, is 94. This will depend on who your lender is. This will vary. This is just a placeholder, but PMI stinks, but it's kind of part of the deal to get you into a property. So that monthly mortgage payment is just over $3,300 at 7.75%. That's a lot. That's, you're definitely in the range of can you find somewhere to rent cheaper than that? Most likely. So let's look what happens at 6.5%. Same purchase price, same down payment, all that. We're at 6.5% for the interest rate. That drops at about $300, almost $400. And that's significant. We're talking, over $4,000 a year. That's going to increase your affordability. $400 is a lot. And so rates are certainly around 6.5% right now. So it's definitely about $400 cheaper than what you were paying last year. And that's at this rate. If you were buying a bigger property with a higher loan, that savings is going to be even more significant. And so let's look at 6%. That's, as we're trending downwards towards 6%, potentially a little bit lower. What does that mean? Again, same purchase price, same loan amount, about $2,800. So 33 to 20, it's over $500 a month, just because the interest rate changes. And so while, dropping the rate 1%, 1.5% might not seem like a lot, it has a huge impact on your wallet. You're going to save $500 a month, almost $6,000 a year. And so it's going to increase your monthly affordability, but also increase what you can purchase because, let's say you were comfortable with that 3,300 back when I was at 7.5%. Now, excuse me, Now, if you're fine with a $3,300 a month mortgage payment, you're going to be able to buy something more than $500,000. And so this is a really big deal. It does have a direct impact on your finances and what you're able to buy. So pay attention to it. And finally, I just kind of wanted to show how this translates to the current market. This slide, there's only 3 numbers on it. It's kind of boring, but pay attention to it because, here, let's see. Let's move here. Oh, I didn't mean to shrink it, but let's move around a little bit. So I took a look this morning at how many condos are in Suffolk and Middlesex counties, so basically greater Boston area, that are under 600K. That kind of lines up with the affordability we were looking at on the previous slide. And there's 407 units on the market right now today at this purchase price. And that's a pretty good amount. There's a lot of options to look at there. You'll find some different areas that you can potentially afford. And the average days on market is 45 days. That is a ton of time. Owners are begging buyers to come in and make an offer on these units. 45 days is forever. There are homes in the suburbs around Greater Boston, single family homes, they're accepting offers in 6 days on average. It happens quickly. And so it's a very different story for condos, and it's a great opportunity for buyers. And of those 407 units that are on the market, 6% have had price reductions in the past 2 weeks. They are asking and hoping buyers will come out there adjusting prices. So it is a great opportunity out there to potentially find something that is in your budget where you're looking and find something without a bidding war. You can go under asking. You can have an inspection, have all of your contingencies, get closing credits. This fall is lining up to be a pretty great opportunity for potential buyers if you're looking for condos in and around Greater Boston, just because your affordability is increasing. There's still plenty of inventory on the market that's sitting there looking for buyers. So hopefully this is helpful. Hopefully it gives you some information on the market that you didn't quite know and what to expect with mortgage rates. If you have any questions, I'm happy to chat. Feel free to reach out. Thanks so much.